then the Lord would dance on it and subdue it, forcing it to bow down with his foot. Now this doesn't show the forcing, but the next slide will show it. The demigods took each of these exhibitions as an opportunity to worship him. So he's entertaining the folks upstairs, the demigods. I mean, it's this Leela is capturing everybody. The whole this morning's session was very clear. He pulled the heartstrings of everybody in Vraja. And now the demigods don't have that same Vraja Prem towards Krishna, but they have more of an Aishwarya feature of regarding Krishna, and he's satisfying them. Here's the Kaliya serpent raising one of his hoods. Here's Krishna teaching him a lesson. Bow down, mister. Though all his limbs were out of control, poison came gushing only from his eyes. This indicates the snake's cruel glance. There are two meanings here. So what are the two meanings? One is literally, the other is figuratively. The one meaning is literally, the poison from his mouths and other openings of the body were exhausted. So what's left is his eyes, and some pockets where there's poison near his eyes, poison coming out of his eyes. That's literal. Then the figurative is the enviousness of a snake is captured to some degree by his eyes. And his eyes were then the remaining organ that was still working. And so there was envy coming out of his eyes. His glance was the cruel remaining functioning part of his body. Pounding with his feet on Kaliya's heads while dancing, Krishna removed the natural faults of the snake. He had a plan. It wasn't just like punish him. He was punish him. But because look what he had done to the resident of Vrindavan and was prepared to do it, indefinitely. So stop it. So he was stopping such tendency. But it was purification. That's, you can say, the higher purpose. Not just punish, but punish with a purpose. To purify. And it worked. He used his head, Kaliya, as the main prop and removed his evil nature, his strength, and his pride. Sanatana Goswami. Similarly, he punished the snake in places which held poison. Through this, the snake also received great fortune from the touch of his feet. Now, isn't it amazing how many different paintings there are of this pastime? And different styles and different times of history and different artists wanting to depict this wonderful pastime. By that, the snake fainted with the bliss of prema. Here he goes again, Sanatana Goswami attributing prema to Kaliya? The snake fainted with the bliss of prema. Vomiting poison was the expulsion of his unlimited internal faults. Here's Sanatana Goswami again. This is Prema Tarangani offered the suggestion that sometimes our acharyas take one word and it means this, and that the same word can mean the opposite. This is one of those cases. Rusha, his anger arising from love. Or the word can be arusha, no anger. Thus, he breathed without anger or with devotion. Sanatana Goswami got some insight into this. to have Pran Govinda do that research and find out what he actually writes, because this is a translation from Sanskrit from his commentary. Krishna made the snake give up his faults due to his nature. We all have our nature, and we all have the faults due to our conditioned nature. Look at this bloodied mouth of Kali, a serpent, getting smashed and smashed and smashed. By that he gave benefit to the snake. SS means Sridhar Swami, because that's included in this commentary. Among his heads, whichever one rose up, he, Krishna, was making that head bow down by the striking of his feet. Thus, becoming satisfied, he subdued that evil person. So moving right along, he's getting purified. Here's a nice long verse with a long color-coded section, and we're going to cover this color-coded Sanskrit. Smritva charachara guram purusham purnam narayanam. Lord Krishna's wonderful, powerful dancing trampled and broke all of Kaliya's 1,000 hoods. Then the serpent finally recognized Sri Krishna to be the eternal personality of Godhead, which means there was something inside before that trampling and purification that then was uncovered by Krishna's mercy. Thus, with his mind, Kaliya took shelter of the Lord. Yay. It's an interesting painting. He still has his left hand on the tail of the Kaliya serpent, but down below, by his right foot, he has the right foot on the head of a human-looking type of person. Though the seed of bhakti in the form of mercy had previously been planted in Kaliya's heart by his wives, this is Vishwanath, not Sanatana, who were exalted devotees, it could not sprout because of his cruel conduct arising from aparad, as seed sown on barren ground cannot sprout. When his offense vanished, Vishwanath writes, through the punishment by the touch of Krishna's feet, suddenly the seed began to sprout. Whereas previously Kaliya was vomiting poison, now that his poison was exhausted, he began to vomit blood. Then he had been cleansed of, this is Krishna book, cleansed of the vile contamination within his heart that had manifested as serpent's venom. You know, you get bodies according to subtle desire. So you got a serpent body for that reason. And that subtle body producing the gross body with serpent body has poison. That serpents have it. But the heart had become cleansed, and the venom was gone. The dancing was amazing because it included various moves, such as Bhranti and Rachaka, described by Bharata Muni. Any girls here have done Bharatnatyam dancing and know what those terms mean? You know what those terms mean? You raising your hand? You've heard those terms? Have you taken Bharatnatyam dance? Yeah. Have you heard these terms before? Not yet. Ask your teacher. Give them a quiz. And you ask them, where did you learn? And is it from this disciplic succession from Bharat Muni? Probably. At least some derivation thereof. Sometimes it's not so straight line, but sometimes it is. Real good teachers know all this language. And they know the dance step. And the reason is, the reason for Bharatanatyam dance, the reason for anything Vedic, is to know Krishna. To stimulate love for Krishna is the way to know Krishna. Want to serve Krishna in different moods. So different dance steps, including dancing on plates and dancing on balls and moving. Have you done the thing with the bells on your ankles? Yes? Yes? And you stamp, stamp, stamp. Then you move over and stamp, stamp. You know how that one. And when you say different syllables, ta 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 ta, right? Something like that. And then you do it 500 times, and you get the dance step down. Then you move on to the next one. So that's dance teachers, Bharatanatyam, and Bharatamuni. Natyam means dance, or drama. It can also mean drama, dance and drama. And it's teaching through mudras and steps and this and that, and in drama similarly, it's a stimulation of love, or giving the audience an experience of rasa. That's what it is. And Bharatanatyam is in relation to Krishna. It's to stimulate feelings of love, of varieties towards Krishna. That's the purpose. Or it was amazing because by dancing, Krishna struck Kaliya on his head. Though he danced, Krishna danced to punish the snake, he ultimately gave him mercy. Not just, headache. Getting wounded, this is Sanatana Goswami again, indicates that the dancing was the greatest mercy. The snake became humbled with removal of his pride. Actually, by destroying 1,000 faults, he became pure. Thus, he remembered the Lord. Phew, at last. So there's the Kaliya's wives. They start to appear. Kaliya fixed his mind. This goes back to the verse. Remember the first word in the verse? Smritva, or that subsection. Fixed his mind on Krishna, who contemplated Krishna and surrendered to him alone. He took shelter of the Lord in his mind, Manasi, since he could not physically act because of great pain. Knowing Smritva, Krishna as Narayana, understanding that he, Krishna, is heavier, Guru, than the whole universe made of moving and non-moving beings. Our Acharya is just breaking apart that word for word of the Sanskrit and, revealing Krishna and how the dance was displaying Krishna. And Kaliya got it once he had been purified. Since Krishna supports everything, though he was a child, yet he was not a child, being the oldest person, Purusham Purnam. Kaliya surrendered to him. We're getting close to the finish line. By his touch, pure love arose within Kaliya, and, similar to Bali, he recognized the Lord and took shelter of him. Now, there's not a lot being said here about the comparison with Bali, but Bali is also in the category of a great devotee in the role of the king of demons. But in his heart of hearts, he was a great devotee. He's one of our Mahajans, Bali Maharaj. And he defied Shukracharya, the priest of the demons, when Shukracharya said, no, don't surrender to him, he'll take everything. And he said, yes. And he took everything. And he was happy. And the Lord wanted to praise him and display his greatness in this way. So Jiva Goswami is writing something similar. Text 31. Here come the wives to the rescue. When Kaliya's wives saw this, they felt great distress. They have mixed feelings, we'll hear. With their clothing, ornaments, and hair scattered in disarray, they then approached the eternal personality of Godhead. Now, notice in the bank of the Kaliya lake, there's the residents of Braja watching this whole scene. And there's Krishna still holding the tail of the Kaliya serpent. He likes that tail. The wives until now had been indifferent towards their cruel husband, but now they were in sorrow. So their emotion shifted by transcendental stimulation of Krishna. They thought previously, let him die. Then, as widows, we can fully surrender to the Lord. Not a nice thought. But when they saw symptoms of sanchari bhav, a little Rupa Goswami lesson, sanchari bhav, such as humility, regret, and indifference to his suffering condition, he was detached from his suffering condition. It manifested in his body. They thought, he has become a Vaishnav. This is good fortune for us. We should try to save him. And so they did. And they were successful. But it was part of the plan. It's part of the whole Leela. Krishna's reciprocating with everybody, A to Z. Though the Lord was pleased with his surrender, Kaliya's surrender, in order to show the greatness of his wives, in order to give special mercy to the wives of Kaliya, Krishna did not give up his position on Kaliya. He's still, dancing on his hoods. Next to the last verse, their minds very much disturbed. Those saintly ladies, very clever. They placed their children before them. Very clever, huh? And then bowed down to the Lord, laying their bodies flat on the ground. Now they're in the ocean, or the river, so how they flat on the ground. But then they folded their palms, their hands in supplication, and approached him. Here's a nice painting. They're putting the children in the front, so that Krishna will be nice. Were they not afraid of their husband's offense? The wives felt in their hearts that Krishna was the Lord of all living beings. Bhutapatim. Though they were afraid, where else could they go? They surrendered to him, crying painfully, please protect us. And that's the end of the section. So here's one more Rupa Goswami verse. And hopefully the recording is going to work.
Kaliyasya panaratna kuttimam kuttayan padasaroja ghattanai mangalani vitanotu tandave panditastava shikanda shekhara.
May Lord Krishna, who wears a peacock feather crown and is the expert dancer, who with his lotus feet kicked the jeweled hoods of Kaliya grant auspiciousness to you. So that ends our session. And tomorrow begins, is tomorrow? Tomorrow evening. We're going to get to meet the wives of the Kaliya serpent. These are special ladies, pure devotee ladies, all of them. So let's see if there's some discussion. One of the things I look forward to in coming to Alach was the question and answer session, because you all come up with some really good questions. Yeah.
Can we pause here,
Not just
Suna
questions,
Mataji?
just discussion.
Q&A tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you so much for hearing the class.
I'm not able to hear you, Mataji. Are you speaking?
No, Prabhu, sorry, my throat was stuck actually suddenly.
Okay. I'd just like to give a little comment,
Yeah, Prabhu.
and maybe, I mean, usually I speak at the end, but I have to leave in 10 minutes. So if you don't mind, Mataji.
Sure, Prabhu, please carry on, Prabhu.
Few things I just thought I liked it very much, and it's very instructive from these set of pastimes. Number one, Krishna acted in such a way that finally, of course, Kalia's enviousness was removed, and it also came about such that his own wives, Kalia's wives, came about pleading to for the sake of Kalia. I mean, and Maharaj said it was all part of the plan. And there are several things that are coming up here. Number one, enviousness is very tough. And sometimes, well, like Kalia, Krishna has to dance on his hood for a muhurta and more. Muhurta is 48 minutes, and it could be much, much more than a muhurta. For some of us in our own lives, we may not be as great as Kalia, but sometimes it takes several lifetimes for us to let go of our enviousness, etc. That's one thing. But when we recognize this in somebody else, enviousness in others, like Krishna, following the footsteps of Krishna, there has to be an exit path. In other words, it cannot be a path where for the others we do not give a path of no return. Like, for example, a very prominent thing these days is members of one religion, they don't like members of another religion for various reasons, and some of them are very genuine reasons. Some of them feel that the member of one religion is trying to uh, populate themselves so much that they can finally take their own beliefs and impose it on others. It may be true, it may be wrong, it may be circumstantial. It, all those things are there, and let us just give a benefit of doubt that it is even true for that matter. But following the footsteps of Krishna, we as aspiring devotees of Krishna, we should not take the route of my religion versus your religion, things like that. We should take the route that Krishna wants everybody to come back to him. So even in so-called punishment, is there a way in which the other person can learn something? If we don't do that, especially if you are in position of power, most of us are not at all in positions of power. We have control over a very limited circle, but you never know that as we progress nicely, Krishna may give us that power. And at that time, what you do with that power is important. And so when we come across such circumstances, always we have to ensure, like how Srila Prabhupada did, that Krishna consciousness is a non-sectarian religion. It doesn't belong to a sect. A sect meaning a set of people who were born in a particular country or a particular family, etc. It is not based on those by birth ties affiliation. It is universal. And therefore, rejection is not the important thing in Krishna consciousness. It is coming with ways and means for acceptance. It may be different for different people, but that has to be thought through. Number one. Number two, um, I heard this from a lecture yesterday from Urmila Mataji. And like Kalia, his primary mistake was anybody who was coming there, he did not want to share that water with anybody. So he poisoned that entire water. And when he poisoned that entire water, he caused distress to others too. So dogs have it to some extent. They are very territorial. Kalia went to the next level, a lake which spanned around 8 miles, 1 yojana in length, 8 miles, which is like 12 kilometers or so. That big an area he wanted. And modern day kings and prime ministers and chief ministers, they also have something very similar itself. So it's all the more applicable even today. But the key thing here is when one sees the facilities that one has been given, the land, money, intelligence, beauty, just raw wealth, etc. All of them, in terms of how it is for me and mine, it becomes a problem at some point in time. That we all know. But what I learned very nicely from Urmila Mataji was, she said, everybody does mistakes. But if we make a mistake, we have to fix it and we have to apologize. We should not just say chanting is sufficient. I'll chant and everything will be taken care of it automatically. If we don't fix it and apologize it, we have to wait for Krishna to come and dance on our hoods of like our serpent like inner body and wait to be humiliated even further. So we take this way or that way. That's one thing. And when we hear all of these pastimes, I'm coming to the third point. When we hear all of these pastimes, sometimes we may think, what is the utility of this? Right? In the nectar of devotion, we we it said like in general, everybody has a particular relationship with Krishna, and we have to uncover it. We are all in the process of uncovering it. That base relationship is what is called as Sthai Bhav. And most of us don't even know about that relationship at this point in time. And that Sthai Bhav, for it to first and foremost um, for it to be triggered, we need what are called as the stimulants. And these stimulants are called as the Vibhava. And this Vibhava, when once it is stimulated with something, then there is a voluntary expression. That is called what follows after a stimulant. It's an anu. It's called the anubhava. What follows is an anubhava, voluntary expression. And sometimes there's an involuntary expression, which is a satvika bhava. So there's a voluntary expression anubhava, there's an involuntary expression satvika bhava, and then some emotions are triggered. They are called the vyabhichari bhava. It is a combination of all of this on the base of that sthai bhava, on the base of that relationship that one has with Krishna, that actually gives rise to bhakti rasa. So the purpose of hearing all of this is to understand in various ways that this pastime is helping us know what is stimulating the rasa in various individuals, the vibhavas. So there are certain events have triggered, there is a vibhava, and if we also resonate with it more and more, one fine day, bhakti rasa can also awaken in us. Um, and how does it stimulate? I mean, like this vibhava, what aspect of it stimulates us? So Krishna has many qualities. There are 64 qualities. There are 50 of them which are there in human beings to a minute extent. Krishna has it in full extent. And then he has 14 additional qualities. All that is there. So these set of qualities are one kind. And there is another aspect of Krishna, which is the heroic personality. There are four kinds of heroic personalities in the Natya Shastra. One is Dhirodhata, one is Dhira Lalita, Dhira Prashanta, and Dhirodatta. Four. One of the days when we were reading Chaitanya Charitamrita about 1 to 2 months ago, we covered all of this. We read all of this. The Dhirodata is a hero who is noble, and his noble acts attracts others. For example, Lord Ramachandra is the primeval example of a very noble person. Uh, and Krishna also has this. Then there is Dhira Lalita, something very romantic, very fun loving. That's an aspect of the Dhira Lalita personality. And then there is Dhira Prashanta, very peaceful gentleman. And then there is Dhiro Datta. The first one is Dhiro Datta, and this is Dhiro Datta. Dhiro Datta is like, like the rebel star, like what we saw see in movies. He's haughty, he's bad boy, he's proud, he's easily angered, that kind of a personality. And somehow each of these are actually attractive. These personalities, these traits are present in this world, so that we get to know that, hey, if I am getting attracted to one of these, most likely uh, these qualities all come from Krishna, and therefore in the perverted form they're in Krishna, and we can use this attraction to be attracted to that aspect of Krishna. So the main point I'm trying to say here is, don't we should all not think that um, I am going to chant, and over chanting alone I'm going to get fully revealed of everything else. If that were to be true, there is no necessity for Krishna Katha. If without Krishna Katha itself, I will just continue to chant mechanically somehow and it's going to happen. No. Krishna Katha is the chanting gives us the purification of the heart. Krishna can come and reside. He can stay in the core of our heart, but we have to reciprocate with him. And we should know in what way we would want to reciprocate with him and with all the previous acharyas and all the other nice devotees in this world. And for that, the more we read scripture, that this aspect of Krishna's personality I like for example, today, or as we are hearing the Kaliya Leela, we are seeing for some time Krishna was quietly there in the hoods of Kali, and in the coil along the he was coiled by Kali, and he was just quietly there. That is the Dhira Prashanta. He was like a perfect gentleman. And much later, um, Krishna is we are going to hear Krishna is going to tell to Kaliya, my dear Kaliya, uh, you please. If you are in this lake, it's going to cause a problem to these cows and my cowherd friends. Can you please go somewhere else? Very noble way. That is the Dhira Dhata. And as Krishna was dancing in the on the hoods of Kaliya, by his sidelong glance, he was looking at even the gopis. So he was Dhira Lalita there. And the haughty bad boy, the angered boy, etc. is like, as soon as he saw that his relatives and his Rajwasi associates, were starting to faint, they couldn't bear it anymore. He started pounding on Kalia with greater vigor. There we see the Dhirodatta. So we see all these characteristics, and we may get attracted to one of these, a portion of one of these, or some of these. And we have to keep our hearts open for it. And it is this which is important, this aspect of appreciating some aspect of Krishna, or praying to Krishna, help me appreciate some aspect of Krishna, which is very important. We cannot get on our life without cultivating this attraction. And the reason I took on the microphone to say this today is Janmashtami is coming up. Many of you are going to be serving in various ways, and it is easy to forget it. It is easy to think that I am just going to do some service because somebody wanted it. I hope by me pleasing that person, something good will happen to me, or at least he's not going to trouble me, something like that. Those are all not the highest motivations to render devotional service. While rendering devotional service, so the opportunities for service that we get in Janmashtami is Krishna's Leela is getting expanded further by many people getting to know about Krishna, and by we making many arrangements for the deity of Krishna, and we ourselves participating in appreciating Krishna's beauty, his kirtans, etc. So we are also a part of his expanding Krishna Leela. So it's helpful for us, it's helpful for others, and we are becoming an instrument for others, and we open our heart so that we can receive it ourselves. And while doing so, we should not think about it as just another duty to get done, a checklist to finish, etc. That's if we do it that way, we are losing it out. We need to have a prayerful mood. Krishna, what do you want me to give? Number two, it should be, I have heard about this from Krishna and I'm observing it here. It's so nice. It's happening like this. Or if you really like something, even if you can't observe, just be happy with contemplating again and again on that particular pastime of Krishna which you like. That's it. Mataji, sorry I took a lot of time. 20 minutes almost. 15 minutes. Yeah, thank
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for that. I mean, so nicely you correlate. I mean, how you explained as the essence of Janmashtami, right? It was really nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Sharbari Mataji. Mataji, you're
Hare
there?
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I mean, what Shamkun Prabhu said was really very nice. And actually, we all needed this because Janmashtami is coming. And also for the class that we had, it was very nice. I mean, the paintings, particularly the way it was depicted, I really liked it. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Shweta Mataji, do you want to add something?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. It's like I was introspecting myself when Shampoo Prabhu says that do every service with seeing Krishna within that service. So yeah, I'm trying to do something like um, I can't see the Krishna everywhere, but at least I'm trying to think that okay, I should do like this. So that's a nice instruction, Prabhu. How far we can achieve it, that's a different thing. We are far, far away, but still it's a good reminder for us to keep it in the mind all the time. So that is one point that thank you for that, Prabhu. And one more point is actually it was a doubt that in all the pictures when we see that the Naga ladies come out as the human form, as the human ladies. So is it that they were capable of having any form at their will, or it was there? I mean, since we say that the Krishna is originally two-arm form and everyone has actually two arm, so they could come in that form. Why they were shown as the human ladies? So that confusion came in my mind because actually by body they were the snakes, but how come they could manifested the human lady form? So and this was I was thinking. I don't know if there is any answer or no. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Pranamala Prabhu, would you like to address this question from Mataji?
you. 10 minutes later. No, no.
Uh, Kumarika Mataji or Shamkun Prabhu? Hema Sundari Mataji, would you like to answer this, Mataji?
No, Mataji, I was not attentive, so I didn't hear. Last 5 minutes just went above my head.
I am also not aware, Shweta Mataji. I just thought just for the images, right, so that we don't get confused, right, about which is the hood of Kalia. And so just to differentiate, it has come in that way. I am not sure, Mataji, on that. Shweta Mataji.
Yeah, and then one important point in none of the pictures anywhere, if you see so many pictures, you will not see Kalia coming as a human form, prostrating and bowing down and bowing down. It's only the Naga wives who are shown as a human form. So I just wanted to understand if there is anything else in any meaning, or it's just the picture. That's a different thing then.
Mataji, Hare Krishna, Shamkuldas here. It's a very keen observation that you had. Very nice question. At least I don't have an answer to it. Let's check from scriptures and other devotees, and we'll discuss this again. I think thank you. It's a very interesting point you brought.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. We'll wait.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. If and no, I mean, if anyone has any more realizations that they would like to share, we are almost 7:12.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Just relate with what Shamkun Prabhu shared. Are you able to hear Mataji, my voice? Is it audible?
Yes, Mataji. Your voice is audible, Mataji.
Okay. So what Shamkun Prabhu said just now, like when we do mistakes, better to sorry to them, otherwise Krishna will come and he needs to come like that. But my question is like sometimes we can't express openly what we did with we feel we regret but not able to open our heart. That much strength also will not be there, like so many that time mind will not able to open it up, or so how to face that situations. We are my point is we regret so much. Array, why I did like this, why I did this to them, even though they did a lot for us, not able to open expressively, and we feel regret inside like that. Then how to come out from this situation? I mean, some devotees, like some people, like not people, some devotees, they'll chant and they'll pray like that. So is it not correct way like that? Like that, Mataji. Sorry, you
Yes,
understood question?
I understood, Mataji. I'm sorry. I'm taking it microphone here, but maybe others can also add here. We have many other devotees, but because I'm in the car with your husband, so I thought before we hit the traffic, I'll see this. Quickly, shortly. Chanting is important. It's necessary, but in case very rarely we all do such very big mistakes at all. If at all we do some, we really think it's a big mistake, even minor mistake. What stops us from telling sorry is lack of humility. It's a false sense of our own identity, typically, number one. Or we believe sometimes that like say the other person to whom we have done something, we believe I did one mistake, that person has done 10 different mistakes. Why should I go and say sorry to that person? He himself should be telling sorry for all the 10 different mistakes he has done. So this arithmetic comes into the picture, and that is a problem. And it's a problem because Krishna doesn't see this language of arithmetic. You have done one, he has done 10. 10 minus 1 still 9. The deficit is on his side. He has to do something. Krishna doesn't see that. What Krishna wants is softness of the heart. He is not having a count of the number of mistakes or anything like that. So it's important for us that if ever we think, if we even have a suspicion that we have done something wrong, better go and speak. And of course, I don't mean some small silly things like sometimes we take it too much. Like suppose I didn't give like say prasadam to somebody, I didn't give an extra gulab jamun to somebody. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give you an extra gulab jamun. And it's not at that level. Talking about something major, not these minor stuff. But in general, it is important that if we recognize it, it is for our own cultivation of humility and cultivation of the fact that uh, I, by the dint of my mind and my uh, the impelling of lust, and the impelling of anger, etc. I have done something. These are not the identity I have from my soul, but it is because of my being in this material world. I want to let go of this. So please, it's just like me saying that my dress is dirty. It's not that I am dirty. It's not me and my soul which is dirty, but my dress which is dirty. I'm sorry, with my dirty dress, I entered your house and I caused making your house also dirty. Sorry about it. It's not my intention there. So that's important. Krishna looks at the cultivation of humility and dependence. And for somebody who has not cultivated humility and dependence, the door to Vaikuntha is closed. That's it.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very interesting.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji. Any other questions or realization? We're already 7:18, so we will conclude this call. And any further questions, we can take it tomorrow. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. प्रभुपाद की जय. His Holiness Prabhupada Swami Maharaj की जय. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.